I've done something this morning that I thought might be interesting to you. I want to talk today about how, basically how you can exploit Periscope. Periscope's great, but it's very hard to communicate on Periscope, even though it's easy to communicate on Periscope. You want to be able to communicate off of Periscope, after Periscope. You want to make connections, and the connections are great on Periscope, but you're having a type of conversation, but you can't have a one-on-one conversation oftentimes. I'm sitting at my desk right now, and I'm going to show you on my computer how it works. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to follow one person. The person I choose to follow today is someone I followed this morning, and this is how I made the permanent connection. Okay, so I started watching her. She's in London. Her name's Beck Boop, and you can find her at Beck Boop, BECBOOP, or at Boop Fashionista, and she's a Periscoper. And she was doing a tour of London. Well, I'm going to London in just a little over a week with my family, and so I've been watching tours of London. And I was already a friend of hers because she had said something about London before. So today she was walking at the Tower Bridge, and I had an opportunity to be able to chat with her. And so I wanted to connect past that so that I can make that connection permanent. And you can see here, the very first thing I did was I found her on Twitter. There she is on Twitter, and I followed her on Twitter. Now, if I want, I can tweet to her, and when I tweet to her, that makes it a permanent connection right there, right? But that's not all. And I did that. And over here, I use TweetDeck, and so I contacted her. Actually, I didn't contact her. I just said something about her. I said, and this is really important to know. I found a new Periscope to follow. Fun walkabouts in London with Boop Fashionista. Best sunglasses on Periscope too. You see that right there? And she favorited it, and then she retweeted it, and then we started to have a conversation just like that. So now she knows me as more than just someone who happened to say something randomly on her Periscope, and that's important if you want to make it permanent. And I've done that with a lot of different people. I've done that with Victoria, who's on today. You can see right here. We had a conversation about that. Claire Waddington up here. You can see. Here's Claire. She is a Paris tour guide, and we're going to Paris too. See, there's Victoria. And here's Beck Boop, who you can see there her Twitter. And it's really important because then you make it permanent. You make it a real thing that you can talk to them at any time, not just when they happen to be on Periscope, right? But that's not all, because if you notice when you go to Beck Boop here, it says that, and it says all this other stuff here. And remember that for when you're doing it too. When you're on Twitter, make sure you have all these things. It explains who you are and what you are. Okay, so you've made this connection permanent on Twitter. And that's the obvious first place to start because Twitter and Periscope are connected. But there's more to it than that. So when I go to Beck Boop's thing, you can see here, look. Can you see here? She has an Instagram account. Well, I'm a photographer, so I want to connect there. She has a YouTube account. Well, I take my Periscopes and I turn them into YouTube videos often. So I want to see how she's doing that. And then look there. There's a website. So I have 3 places to go to see more about her so I can make that connection more. First place I'm going to go is her website. And what's the very first thing I see? It's a article that she wrote called Why Boop is So Hyped on Periscope. Well, that's awesome because I'm hyped on Periscope. And so I read the article, and what do I do with it? I take the address and I come over to my TweetDeck and I tweet it because I think that's awesome. And I said right here, want a good explanation? of Periscope, check out Boop Fashionista's post about it. And that does two things. That makes me known to her. It helps Beck Boop in that it promotes her, which is always great. It helps me because it makes Beck Boop know that I'm on her side. I'm helping her. And then it helps all the people reading it because a lot of people don't know anything about it yet. So I went there, and I will take some time a little bit later and I'll read up on more things about her. Then the next thing I did was I went to her Facebook page and I liked it. That's easy enough. I haven't investigated it yet, but I liked it, so I'm connected there. And then I went to her Instagram page and did the same thing. And I went to her YouTube and I did the same thing. So immediately I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 connection points with Beck Boop. Partly because she's connected in all those areas right away, right? Now, why is this important? Well, you want to have a permanent relationship with a number of people that you see on Periscope. You want to develop a symbiotic, helpful relationship so that they help you and you help them. So let me explain how this helps. So this right here is my analytics for my website. And you can see from the analytics that I have this curve that's going up. Thank you. You can see I have this curve going up. And that's because I've started to connect more and more on Periscope. If you look at my Twitter analytics, now take a look at my Twitter analytics. My 28-day summary, my tweets have gone up 113%. My tweet impressions, 164%. My profile visits, 100%. My mentions, 136%. My followers up 72%. So think about how powerful it is if you can make that connection past Periscope, if you can turn it into something that's concrete and can last a little while. You have to back up your Periscope with information that people can use. They have to be able to find you. They have to be able to help you. They have to be able to buy things from you. They have to be able to meet up with you, whatever it is. And if you don't have your stuff out there properly in all those other things I mentioned, then, and if you aren't telling them where it is, especially in your Twitter profile, then you aren't taking advantage of it. Okay, so let's go over this again. So the first thing you're going to do is go from Periscope to their Twitter page. You're going to connect with them on the Twitter page. You're going to say something to them on Twitter, and you're going to use their name, and you're going to use the hashtag Periscope. From there, you're going to see in their Twitter page if they have any connections, and they should. You should, she has it for her Instagram, for her YouTube, for her website, and Gmail. She even has her email address. So she's on top of it. You're then going to go to her website if she has it or he has it. You're going to find them on Facebook. You're going to find them on Instagram. You're going to find them on YouTube. You're going to find them wherever they are. And you're going to make those connections. Now, that doesn't mean you should do that with every single one. But people who you think are in line with your goals and you think you can help, both things need to be true. You want to help them, but you want them to help you. There's a lot of people on Periscope that I can watch, but I'm certainly not going to be, they aren't people I'm going to have a relationship with. They're just someone who is kind of entertaining to watch, and that's fine. But there's people who are important to connect with, and those people you need to make sure you take those steps. And you need to make sure you are available to them via those steps, okay? That's really what I wanted to talk about today. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later. Bye.